Hello everyone, I am Alurinu and welcome to my tutorial for zipline dashing. This is a tech that I first began experimenting with over a year ago. Over time, I slowly learned more and more about it until it became what it is today. Before you begin learning this tech, you should definitely be comfortable with basic zipline movement as well as more advanced concepts like ghost jumps, mantle jumps, and lurching. With that being said, I will briefly cover some important fundamental knowledge and then we will jump right into the tutorial. So let's get started. The first thing we should understand about ziplines is the interaction zone. This is an invisible cylinder which surrounds the zipline, with the zipline at its center. It is formed by the maximum distance we can be away from the zipline while still being able to interact with it. That distance is roughly 2 meters on all sides, which gives the zone a diameter of about 4 meters. When we are performing zipline combos, we want our interactions to happen at the edge of the interaction zone, which will give us enough time within the zone to turn around and grab the zipline at the opposite edge. When done correctly, these combos have a distinct rhythm to them, something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This rhythm applies to all of the combos that we will learn. The second thing to understand is the interaction limit. This is the maximum number of times we can interact with a zipline before we must return to a state of ground contact in order to interact again. After each interaction, a small yet exponential delay is added to our ability to latch onto a zipline. This results in a practical limit of 3, although we can technically do 4 or even more given that we spend enough time in the air. Once we understand these rules, the first step to mastering this tech is to master the key component, which is the zip crouch. To do this, we want to practice incorporating zip crouches into our standard zip juggling combos that we normally do. For example, the classic combo of a super jump followed by 2 zip jumps could be transformed into a super jump followed by 2 crouches. Or we could fall from a height and perform 3 crouches downwards. The point here is that there is a lot of possibilities, and we want to build our muscle memory to the point that we can easily improvise and hit any of these combos at will. Once we have become very confident in our ability to consistently do triple zipline juggles with good variety, it's time to learn infinity combos. These are the building blocks of zip dashing, which is an umbrella term for the ability to combine the various infinity combos into one cohesive combination. However, the core combination shares the name, so let's learn our first infinity combo, the zip dash. Zip dashing has 2 variations. The first, easier one is what I call a short dash. This is done by approaching a zip, tapping interact, and then tapping crouch. These can be chained infinitely simply by turning back towards the zip and repeating the input. Once we are comfortable with this, we will upgrade to the second variation, the true zip dash. For this, all we are doing is holding crouch for a brief moment longer than we did for the short zip dash. This will give us a slide and exaggerate the dash. The timing and camera angles will be more precise, but the movement will look much cleaner. An important piece of advice is to release your interact key as quickly as possible so that it is always ready to be used again. Make sure to release crouch as you grab the zip so that you can crouch again to exit the zip. You want to be able to do perfect 180s, but it is also possible to cut across the edges of the interaction zone to change the direction of your dash. Work on this tech until it becomes fluid and easy. The next combo is going to be a low jump dash. But first, we need to learn how to low jump. The inputs for this tech are essentially the opposite of a super jump. So instead of interact immediately followed by jump scroll, we have jump scroll immediately followed by interact, and then another jump scroll input. Basically, just an extended scroll with an interact in the middle. Benefit of low jumps as opposed to a standard zip jump is that we can lurch out of them. However, we will learn that in the next combo. For now, we have learned the basic low jump, so let's return to the low jump dash. Begin by performing a low jump straight across the center of the interaction zone. As we reach the opposite end of the zone, we want to be facing towards the zip again, where we will do a zip crouch followed by another zip crouch, which will return us to the floor next to the zip. From this position, we can repeat the combo or transition into other tech, such as a zip dash. Practice alternating between the zip dash and the low jump dash until you can fluidly combine both combos with ease. Next up, we are going to learn the dash into low jump lurch combo. Lurching out of a low jump should be pretty self-explanatory if you have a decent understanding of lurching. We will start with a short dash variation to make this easier to learn. Start on the edge of the interaction zone on one side of the zip and do a short zip dash. We will now be on the opposite side of the zip within the interaction zone. From here, we will look off to the side of the zip and do a V-shaped low jump forward, followed by a sharp lurch back to the side of the zip that we started on. From this position in the air, we will crouch off to the opposite side, where we can repeat the combo or transition into another tech. Practice this in both directions until you fully understand the concept. The next step is to turn the short dash into a long dash. This will make the timing and camera angles a little more precise, but it will result in much cleaner movement. The next combo we will learn is dash to super jump. Once again, we will start with a short dash variation to make it easier to learn. This should be very easy. Just short dash, turn, and then super jump. Now, doing it out of a long dash should be pretty easy too, although with a different method. Do a zip dash, but as you turn to face the zip, begin holding interact. As soon as you notice your character be pulled towards the zip, do a jump scroll, and this will initiate a super jump. Next, we have the super jump to dash combo. We will initiate a super jump across the zipline. As we reach the opposite end of the interaction zone, we will turn around and perform a zip crouch followed by another zip crouch. Not too hard, right? Well, the problem is that the standard zip crouches will land us outside of the interaction zone. In order for us to land in the zone, we must input S immediately after grabbing the zip line in order to slow ourselves down just enough to land within the interaction zone. Taking a closer look, you can see we do a super jump, we turn around, and then it's interact S crouch. Interact S crouch. Next up, we have the diagonal dash. This combo is composed of a low jump followed by a zip crouch in the opposite direction. However, similar to the previous combo, a standard zip crouch will land us outside of the interaction zone. So we must use the same method of inputting S immediately after grabbing the zip. Once again, taking a closer look, we do a low jump, turn, and then interact S crouch. Low jump, interact S crouch. If you manage to memorize and master these combos, the next thing you should work on is incorporating things like wall bounces, super glides, fatigues, U bounces, and mantle jumps into our combos. Remember, every time we achieve a state of ground contact, our interaction limit resets, granting us 3 more zipline interactions. Ground contact is achieved whenever our feet touch a walkable surface or if we mantle a ledge. This means wall jumps do not count as ground contact. Quickly, I want to mention how wall jumps play into all of this. First of all, super jumps and low jumps will always grant jump fatigue, meaning you can wall bounce upon landing out of them. However, if we walk, run, or slide off of a ledge, we will not be granted jump fatigue upon landing. This is because we never initiated a jump in the first place, whereas super jumps and low jumps require an initial jump input. Additionally, there is a way to wall jump directly out of a zip jump. In order to understand how zipline wall jumps work, you need to understand the green zone. In short, when we jump off of the zipline, we create a new floor at the point that we left the zip. Since the green zone is always a specific distance above our current floor, that means we can wall jump if we can land in the green zone. In the firing range, there exists a weird interaction which I call the quick drop. It happens after a super jump. Upon attempting your second interaction with the zipline, your character will simply fall straight to the ground. While it is easily replicable and could be useful as its own tech, like I said, it appears to only happen in the firing range. This can cause issues when attempting to practice super jump combos such as the super jump dash. However, I have found that quick drops happen less frequently on this particular zipline in the range, so I would recommend practicing super jump combos here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow me if you're interested in more content from me, and good luck with your practice.